Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Color with Donna in Coloritaville. In today's video that I would like to share with you, which is Steampunk Animals Coloring Book by Jade Summer. Jade Summer was kind enough to send me this book so I could use it here on the channel and share it with you guys. And it is a pretty interesting book. And I know many of you really do love steampunk. And I think this might be right up your alley. So let's take a look inside and see what you guys think of the book. You have the thank you for choosing Jade Summer page. And then we get into our pictures. And I'm going to share these pictures with you guys. And then I plan to start a page in here on video today. And there'll be links down in the description below where you can find this beautiful book on Amazon if you would like to buy it for yourself. Jade Summer books do have 25 images and they repeat, so you get 2 of each image. They have the black backgrounds on their papers, and there's, of course, single-sided images. I do like the borders that Jade Summer puts around the images a lot. So that's helpful. And of course, being a single page, you can choose to color with your markers, crayons, pencils, whatever you choose to use. It's not a big deal if anything bleeds through to the other side. So that's really something I do look for a lot in my books. And I think it's a really great thing to have. Yeah, these are pretty interesting images, and it's probably one of the more unique books that I've seen from Jade Summer. Oh, this iguana. He looks like a tough little dude. Turtle. And then this is where our images start to repeat. And you get the images repeated. So you get another 25 images. And then it tells you where you can buy digital editions. Apparently now they do have PDF versions that you can purchase of Jade Summer, their email list, their artwork group, a link for Amazon reviews. You have a list of all the current Jade Summer books as of the printing of this book. And then you have a sample from the Steampunk coloring book here in the back. And on the back of the book, you have sample images from the pages. So that is a Steampunk Animals by Jade Summer. As I said, I'll make sure there are links down in the description. If you guys are interested, you will be able to find them there. And I was trying to decide what image I wanted to start working on. And I can't decide if I want to go with a peacock or if I want to work on the seahorse. Peacock. Seahorse. I think I might go with a peacock. And I need to flatten this out as much as possible. I generally just call it breaking the binding of the book because that's kind of what you're doing. It helps it to lay more flat. Most of our books, you can do this in, and it works out pretty well. You may have on some books some separation of binding, so be careful when you decide to go in and do that. And I did not bring over my blotter page. I'm looking to see if I have a blotter page Actually, I know there's one inside these markers. Luckily, my desk chair is does have wheels, so I can kind of go a little bit. My microphone has a pretty long cord, so that comes in very, very helpful. Found my blotter page. Put that in there. Okay. And as always, I'm just going to kind of free color, and I haven't planned out anything, to be honest. I thought I was going to do the little seahorse, but then I started looking at the peacock a little more, and I decided, well, actually, I think I want to do the peacock. So I've got I'm going to need something to test colors on too. I've got my Prismacolor markers pulled out, and some of them may be starting to get a little used, I guess is the word I'm looking for. It's a little dark. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to figure out colors. All right. I think we'll do that. All right. So let's come in a little bit. So I hope everybody is doing well. Long time no see, or it feels that way, or should I say long time no chat. It's been a few days since my last video, and I tell you, when I go without making a video for several days, it's really hard to get me motivated to sit back down and pull everything out and start filming again. I don't know if any others of you who do videos ever feel that way, but if you take a little bit of a break, it's kind of like, when you actually come back. But it was a much needed little break. I was surprised the other day, Saturday, I believe. Gary and Michael had been out doing some work on property and things, and Michael and his wife were going to come over, and I was going to make some chicken wings in the air fryer. And so thank goodness I pulled out 10 whole pounds of wings, because as I'm waiting on them to get here and everything, and Gary's not even back home yet or anything, I get a phone call, and I look down, and it's Jordan on the phone. And as it turns out, Jordan and Leah, that is my son who actually lives in North Carolina. They were in my driveway, completely unexpected. It was so exciting. So I got to spend the evening with the two of them. So that was really nice, as well as I also had Michael and Caitlin here also for the evening. So it was really nice to be able to have my kids together. The very next day, we stayed up really late that night, and the very next day was my scheduled day to film, and we had been up so late, and I tell you what, I was so exhausted, and I was like, you know what? I just don't feel it today. So I didn't film. And then, of course, Gary was off for 2 days, and he was away from the house a good bit yesterday, and I could have filmed. But again, I don't know. I just felt exhausted and kind of worn out. There's been so much, as you guys know, going on in life recently. And I guess it was just a much needed little break. So thanks for being patient during that. Hopefully maybe you didn't even notice that I was gone. And of course, I guess I should want you to notice when I'm gone, but hopefully you didn't. Because I feel kind of bad when I know that I have people who watch these videos on a regular basis. Some of you may be shut in and things like that. And you kind of depend on these to kind of feel like you have someone there with you and, coloring with and things like that. So I apologize for being away. I should have probably said something over on the community board, but I'm going to be honest, it didn't cross my mind like it should have. At one point it did, but at the time I wasn't in a position to leave that community board post, and then it kind of slipped my mind again. So, but I have been thinking about you guys, but it was a much needed, I think, little break. So I hope you guys are doing really well. We are quickly approaching the end of the month. This month has flown by. This whole year is just flying by so fast. We are almost in the 4th month. And that, to me, that's just kind of mind-blowing because it seems like it has just all went by so quickly. Spring is upon us, so happy spring to everybody. My allergies hate it, but I tell you what, I love the spring and the fall, the weather, temperatures, and things like that. Those are my 2 absolute favorite seasons of the year. It's just my allergies. I have a hard time with my sinuses and allergies during these times, but I do love the weather. It's really nice. I know I'm about a week early, but I think I may go ahead and film my end of the month video today after this video. That way I can go ahead and get the books put back on the shelf and get ready for next month. I just think that might be a little easier. I didn't get as many submissions this month of your images that you wanted to share out with the community. So I'm still going to do that video. It just won't be as long at the end of my video as it has been. So, guys, keep in mind throughout the month as you color things, if you would like to share them out with the coloring community, I would be more than happy to attach those to the end of my end of the month videos. I just need you to email those pictures to me, throughout the month when you're coloring them. You don't have to wait until right at the end of the month. Anytime is fine. I have a folder that I save all of those images in until I'm ready to make the little video clip at the end of the month. So it's not a problem if you send those to me as you color them. Not a problem at all. So this book has been out. Oh, hold on. I'm going to have to sneeze. Sinuses, I'm telling you. Springtime. Hold on. Okay, I'm muted for that. Sorry. I've been sneezing like crazy. And I tell you what, it made me forget what I was talking about too. It was there and then it was just gone. Oh, I was saying this book, I know it's been out for a couple weeks now. Have any of you purchased this book? Generally, the books have been out for a week, sometimes 2 weeks by the time I get my copy from Jade Summer to kind of share out with you guys. So I didn't know how many of you may have purchased the book. And if you have you completed any pictures in the book yourself? And what is your opinion of the book? And for those of you who don't have the book, is this a book that you think that you might enjoy yourself? Inquiring minds want to know. And I'm the inquiring mind, so I want to know. I actually went through my books again and lightened that load. I got to realizing the other day, as you guys know, I've been trying to look for some of the Hatchet Hero books that I could get and get them shipped over to the US. So I've got several of those on order. Some have already came in the mail, but um, I'm really, really digging the idea of the Hatchet Hero Disney books right now. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I've already got all these other books. So knowing that I'm about to have to move and have to carry all these things, I just sat down and went through my books again the other day and decided which ones of the books I had I not colored in quite some time and had just maybe lost interest in. And I lightened that book load again. So books are just so stinking heavy. And I was thinking about having to move all those books, when we move. And I was like, I don't know. It just didn't sound very appealing to me, truly. And the truth of the matter is, I figured if I had not been coloring in those books for a while and they were just kind of sitting on the shelf, but I've made this mistake before where I've done this and then came back later and wished I had that book and ended up repurchasing the book again. So, we'll see. I hope that doesn't happen again, but we'll see. But I thought chances are I probably wouldn't color anymore in the book if it had been, that long. So I thought that was probably a smart thing to do. And people like Deborah Muller and Tabitha Barnett and, my favorite artist, Camila Angelkova, those people normally have books coming out pretty frequently. So I knew that I would be getting more of those books as time went on. I did keep the majority of those artist books that I had, though. I didn't really want to. I'm still coloring in most of those books, but some of the older books and things that I really hadn't touched in quite some time. And I just knew that I just know there's going to be a lot more books coming out also. So, yeah. Okay. Trying to get all this part of the little peacock. My little peacock. All right, give me some of my Diet Pepsi. My throat is so dry today. I take a pretty decent amount of antihistamine daily. And most of the time, my sinuses still run. It's crazy. But it does have a tendency to dry my mouth out. Make me kind of get cotton mouth, and I hate that feeling. So I pretty much always have a drink sitting close by that I'm constantly just sipping on throughout the day. Does anyone else have issues with dry mouth? I used to walk around with hard candies too a lot. Corey can attest to that. She still picks on me if she thinks she hears a noise that sounds like a candy wrapper in a video. So, but I did because my mouth would get so dry and it would make me want to cough and everything else. So, and if my sinuses get too bad, I generally do put some type of like a hard candy or something in there if I'm going to have to film, or even if I'm going to be in a situation where I am going to have to be doing a lot of talking. I'll still do that. Or, you know, chew a piece of gum or something. But making a video, it always seemed to me like chewing gum while making the video. I don't know about you guys. I can tell when someone has gum in their mouth and they're talking, and it's always kind of struck me as kind of rude. So I try not to do the gum thing. But if I am in a situation, sometimes this time of year especially, and I don't have a drink or something like that with me, if I've got a piece of gum or something in my pocket, I will pull the gum out of my pocket or my pocketbook, my purse, and chew on it to try to ease the throat irritation, because the throat irritation is just insane sometimes during the spring when everything is just waking up and blooming. And yeah. I learned something new the other day. Apparently, Bradford pear trees, the ones that bloom with the white flowers, smell really bad. I had never known that, or I'd never noticed it apparently. But I had some people who were telling me that, so I've been trying to go out and try to catch a whiff of them, and they do kind of have a weird odor, so that was news to me. I've only had one Bradford pear ever, and it hadn't, we ended up moving, and before it ever had a really good bloom, because where I had planted it when we had first moved in, and we didn't stay at that location very long. Now, the house I had down in South Georgia, I had like an ornamental redbud tree. Oh, and it was gorgeous. It had like the purpley pink blooms on it instead of the white blooms. And I really, really liked it a lot. I still miss that tree. And I think maybe when I get onto the property and we get a lot of the clearing and things done, and then I start doing some landscaping type things, I may try to find a redbud that I can plant, another ornamental. Mine didn't get like extremely tall, because I know some redbuds can get like hundreds of feet tall, and this one wasn't really, I don't think it was that type of redbud. It's some type of an ornamental type tree. But yeah, I think I would really like to have another one of those. And all kinds of things are blooming in Georgia right now. And my neighbors, I think they must be having some tree issues back behind their house in the wooded area, because they've had a tree service out for the past 2 days, and they're taking those equipment and things back behind the houses and cutting trees. And I think they're throwing tree sperm all over the atmosphere, because my allergies have seemed to be a lot worse yesterday and today. And that's even staying inside, just where it's able to leak in some, I guess. I've been out a couple times, but I had no idea that doing this was going to take this long on these little sections. Sorry, guys. And I'm trying to go as quickly as I can. This is a book I think that I would really like to see in grayscale. So I hope Jade Summer will do this maybe in grayscale as one of their future grayscale books, because I really think it would be super nice in grayscale. I love the Jade Summer grayscale. That is absolutely my favorite grayscale. I think this book would look really good in grayscale. think this marker might be threatening to start to get a little bit dry. Maybe not. I don't know. Excuse me. The drainage and things from allergies just goes right back there in the back of my throat, and it just kind of sits there. And I start to talk sometimes, and the words don't want to come out. I sound a little froggish, a little froggy. I have to clear my throat out. So how was your weekend, guys? Last weekend? I know we're in the middle of the week here now, but I haven't seen you guys since maybe, was it Friday that my last video went up? I think, or it could have been Thursday even. But for some reason, I'm thinking maybe Friday, or it could have went up, or I think it could have been scheduled to go up early Saturday. I can't really remember. But it's definitely been a few days since we've chatted. So how are you guys? What did you guys do this weekend? Anything fun, interesting? Did you eat something special, make something special? Like I said, I did the chicken wings in that new fryer grill combo that I got, and they turned out really good. I was very impressed. I'm loving that cooker. I actually used it yesterday as a slow cooker, and it did great. So I'm kind of working myself through the different settings on it to kind of figure out, how to use each one of the settings and things, because when we get moved into the camper, I want to be ready, because that's going to be pretty much my sole source of like an oven and fryer and things like that. So I am trying my best to learn this, and I'm gonna use it as an oven here soon too, and try to see how that's gonna work out. But it says you can even bake like muffins in it, so I'm gonna have to try out different things and figure all that out. Sounds interesting enough, that's for sure. But I guess because it's a 6-quart, and I guess from what it's saying is you just get those little like aluminum bake pans that you can get, any of them that'll fit down in there, and you can put whatever in that you would normally put like in a baking dish to put in the oven. You can just put it in those little aluminum pans, and as long as they'll fit, and it's 6-quart, but it's 6 quarts and it's square. So that makes it a lot easier than like the 6-quart round ones, kind of like the Ninja Foodies, I think. And then you just bake it in there as if it was kind of like an oven. So I'm really looking forward to testing that out. Ooh, look at that. That took a minute. But I think it looks really good. I think it's a good start to the page. Okay. Now let me see. Now let me see now. What other color do I want to throw into the background? I don't really know. I don't want to go too crazy back there. because I do still have to do like the forward stuff too. I guess I can do some of this one and bring you guys, well, I guess I bring you in this way. All right, and this is PB47. I totally forgot to even give y'all colors on the other one. PB47 down. I think it's going to be a beautiful day today. Tomorrow evening, we're supposed to get more storms again. And I tell you what, I am over these storms. I really am. Seems like every time I turn around, there's more storms coming into our area. I don't know if you guys are going to be experiencing any of these storms that are coming through. Mousy or Lisa, either of you guys, or also I believe is it Melissa that's over in Alabama also? A lot of times the weather that comes like through there, Valerie I think is in Alabama, but a lot of times Alabama gets hit like right before we do, and of course if you're over in other areas like Mississippi or Louisiana, a lot of the storms will come straight across through there and then through Alabama and then into Georgia. So I don't know if you guys, and if you guys are getting any of these storms, you may already be getting them today. I just kind of realized that travel time for these storms, they could be already there or approaching some of those areas. So I don't know how bad they're telling you. Those last storms that they said were going to come through and be so terrible here in Georgia last week, I believe. Our government didn't open until like 1 p.m. Kids didn't go to school because it was supposed to be really bad. And before they got into Georgia, there was tornadoes and things like that that did affect a lot of people. But luckily, when it got into Georgia, the strength of the storm, it just kind of petered out. It didn't turn into anything. And oh, this was last Thursday that we were supposed to get them. It was supposed to be like Thursday morning. So yeah, almost a week ago. But it turned out to be such a beautiful day. Michael and I went and sat on the patio at a local restaurant, and it was just the weather was on point. It really, really was on point. I loved it. It was just a perfect spring day out of, and I thank God that we didn't get the horrible storms that they were predicting. But it was just a gorgeous day when it didn't turn into what they thought. I think we were supposed to be under like severe threat warnings until like 11 that morning, or that early 11, like morning, afternoon. But the weather just, it rained early in the morning, but by 11 the sun was coming out, and by 12 1 o'clock, every bit of what was wet had like dried, and the sun was out, and there was a nice breeze, and it was just a beautiful early spring day. These backgrounds and areas just seem to take forever. But it's okay. I really like the way the peacock feathers are pretty much the background in the picture. So instead of having to like color in a background, you've got the picture, all of it as part of like the background. And I think that's going to look really good when the image is completely colored. I think this is going to look real good too. I think what I'll do is use some of the Pentel Sparkle Pops and things like that to put some accents in and things, since this is steampunk. I think that would look really good. I don't know if the brush end of this marker would make this go any faster or not. Maybe a little, but it's also harder to get into any little corners like that right there. But what I have found is with a brush, it's just like the chisel. The more you utilize it and use it, the better you get at being able to quickly lay down color and kind of stay in the lines. You just kind of start to learn where you can lay the nib so as to kind of stay in the lines. So it does help. Practice makes more practice. I'm not going to say perfect, because perfection, in my opinion, is all in the eye of the beholder. Because I may sit back and go, that's perfect. And somebody else might think, oh, well, I think they should have done this or that. So perfection is relative, just like time. You can see that kind of went out of the lines there. So it's definitely a little harder to control the big brushes. I'm trying to keep you guys in frame. I'm still trying to work relatively quickly. All right. You guys are out of frame again. I mean, I've got you zoomed into a point that you can hopefully see really well. Okay, I'm thinking here. How do I want to do these? I've been having tummy aches and things recently too. You guys may have just heard my tummy growl. I'm not hungry. My tummy's just angry. I'm not sure why. I don't think I ate anything yesterday that would have upset it like this, made it so angry. That was a pretty loud growl. Some of you may have heard it. And if you did, nope, that wasn't one of the dogs growling. That was my angry tummy. This one is probably going to take some time to complete because I do want to use like the sparkle pops and things like that on it. So it's probably going to take some time. I think I'm going to do this one too right here. All right. Booyah. All right, guys, well, we are at the 40-minute mark, so I'm going to go ahead. Actually, we're past 40 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and stop for today, but there will be links, excuse me, down in the description so you can find this book. I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me and chatting for a little while. I want to keep the videos shorter because that seems to be the consensus. Those of you who say you're okay with longer videos also pretty much said you wouldn't watch them in one sitting. So it just kind of makes more sense to keep them under the hour mark and bring them to you that way. So thanks again to all my new subscribers. And of course, a super big thank you to everyone who has been here with me for the long haul of Coloritaville. And I appreciate each and every one of you. There's always links in the description below to everything Coloritaville, Instagram, Coloritaville's Facebook page. There's no longer a group, but there is a page that I periodically will post things onto. Sales and deals and things of that nature. The Amazon links are always down below if you would like to support the channel. Anytime that you shop at Amazon, there is a link in there that you can save and go through that, and I'll get credit for your purchases. Thank you so much for doing that. And there's also a PayPal ME link in case you would just like to send a little change for a coffee or something. It's all appreciated so much. All right, I will see you guys in my next video. But until then, peace, love, and happy coloring. Bye, guys.